Hey, what's going on, guys? Shane here.
Vince The Anomaly.
And today we're going to be taking a look at how to fight an aggressive opponent.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at 5 ways to stop the blitz. So someone who's coming at you and throwing everything you have, attacking in straight lines.
Cool. Let's take a look.
Alright, so what do we do if the person we're sparring with or the person we're fighting likes to blitz, likes to come straight forward with strikes, or likes to just push head on, right? There's a lot of different things we can do. The things we don't want to do is just shell up and keep backing up in a straight line because they're going to be able to follow us. We're falling right into the attacks that they want to be setting up. So we want to be countering with different ways, and I found these to be pretty effective for me. So check them out. Our first one's going to be our check hook. You've seen it in boxing. You've seen people use it all the time. It's called a check hook essentially because it's stopping that forward motion, that forward progress. I'm checking him in a spot right there. So when Shane starts to blitz, this check hook is just going to be a quick little hook here with our lead hand. The good thing and the reason why it works well with someone who's blitzing is my weight is going onto my back leg. So I'm still able to get a bunch of power on this. I'm throwing my weight backwards, so that means I'm kind of going away from his movement as well. So just in case some punches slip through, more or less they're not really going to be able to hit me with anything big. And at the same time, I'm going to be able to still strike pretty hard and hopefully stop Shane in his tracks. Oftentimes, guys who like to blitz don't like getting hit at the same time. So sometimes these shots that we throw in the middle of their strikes is going to stop that whole blitzing motion. So again, Shane comes in, and I feel this check hook, and I stop him right there. Now, one thing you can also do too, Adam Lerner showed this one to us, is to get this hand on this side of my face. Obviously, nothing's really going to hit me on the right side. So if I kind of do this cross block here, I can still block a straight and be throwing that hook and getting power on that hook at the same time. So play around with the timing on that if you have someone that's blitzing in on you. Throw that nice check hook, get that weight on the back leg. Alright, so option number 2, if someone is blitzing forward in straight lines, we want to just get off that center line, right? These people like to come straight forward. I'm going to do my best work when I'm off at an angle, whether we're striking or whether this guy's blitzing on me. So if you have someone that likes to blitz, he's coming straight forward. One of my go-tos is really just to kind of loop this overhand and take a big step off to where my lead leg is. So notice, as I take that step here, I'm off of the center line that Shane was attacking on. So I'm stepping, I'm throwing, and now I'm turning and cutting the angle. So if Shane keeps coming forward on me, throw, I'm off at the angle, and now we both have to reset, right? Or I've reset to this angle, and Shane, if he keeps going forward, he's going to have to stop, turn to face me. Or let's say Shane just stops right there. I've cut the angle on him, and now I can start coming forward on him. So it's a nice way to get off the angle there. Now, sometimes with these guys who are blitzing, you don't always pick up that blitz as soon as he starts, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to time it, especially if the guy's really fast, if this guy's lunging and leaping forward. So one thing you can do too is if you pick up the blitz late, is take a step back as you throw your rear hand. So I'm taking a step back and almost throwing like a straight jab or a cross right there. And now once I've done that, I've established some more space, at which point I can use that same exact move we just did, which is looping that back hand, taking that step off to the side, and now I can angle off. All right, so this one looks like this. I've picked up the blitz late. He steps in. I've cut off the angle there. I cut to the outside, and now I can start attacking him.
That's good movement.
Now, another way to stop the blitz is to prevent it from happening in the first place.
Yeah.
All right, so if you fight a guy, someone who likes to blitz on you, one thing you can do is throw a lot of push kicks or a lot of these hard, powerful snapping kicks coming forward. Okay, so if I know Shane is someone who likes to come forward, and I actually picked this up when we were doing our analysis on Robert Whittaker and Adesanya, even though I lost that bet and now I'm officially the clown. Whittaker was using this really well against someone who likes to press forward, which is Yoel Romero, right? And he uses this front kick to really dig and drive, and he's throwing powerful shots, whether it's to the body or to the face. Now, if you use shots like this to the body and you're throwing them consistently, these guys who like to blitz forward, they're not going to want to do it. 1, because you're preventing them from going forward, and 2, because those shots hurt, especially if you're breathing and your abs aren't clenched and you get hit with one of those, it's going to knock the wind out of you. Someone else who likes to use these, Lyoto Machida and Pedro Munoz, who I've trained with a bunch, awesome bantamweight, and he digs these in, almost same as Machida. They kind of dig their toe in, so we always call them just toe kicks, but they're digging these toes like right into your body, right underneath the ribs. And this kick here, like, it really does make you second guess where you're standing and how hard you want to press forward, because these are digging into your stomach and they're stopping that forward movement. So again, if we're facing someone who likes to blitz a lot, rather than letting him blitz in on me, I'm throwing this kick a lot, and I'm keeping him honest the whole time. You land a few good toe kicks there, right to the solar plexus, trust me, this person's not going to want to blitz because they don't want to get hit by that kick anymore. So sometimes when you're fighting an opponent who likes to do one thing, we got to prevent that one thing from happening in the first place. In this case, it's using those front push kicks or using that little toe kick. Now, sometimes when you're fighting these guys who like to blitz, you need to fight fire with fire, right? If you have someone who's coming forward all the time, we don't want to just be backing up. Sometimes if we kind of just meet them halfway, we've completely neutralized their whole attack and that whole forward motion. So this works pretty well, especially in like MMA, is just clashing in and then getting to a clinch, right? So if Shane likes to blitz forward, I'm just going to get a nice tight shell, and as he's coming forward with those punches, I'm blocking, and now I'm right here in the clinch. I can get my underhook, I can be digging, I can be looking for my trips, but what I'm doing is I'm not letting him get that momentum and that forward motion that he needs, right? Blitzers need that forward so they can load up and land that one big punch. Before that even happens, I'm just going to clash in, and I'm working my clinch. Okay, now I can work this whole game, which is why it's important to make sure you have a good clinch, make sure you have a good wrestling game.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, let's say this guy's whooping my butt standing up, and all he's doing is just blitzing in, and I'm too afraid to strike with him now.
Yeah.
I need to get in one way or another. Clinching like that, I feel, is the best way. Now, you can also go for a takedown, but I feel like in MMA, it's a little bit more dangerous, because if this guy's coming forward and he's used to setting up his strikes, moving forward, blitzing in hard, if I just kind of get scared from that blitz and start changing my level, exactly, that's when that knee comes in. You know, we've seen that with Ben Askren, where it's kind of a reaction. Some wrestlers will just, oh, he's coming in, I'm going to shoot, and if you shoot wrong, if your head goes dips, and you're not using proper technique, and you don't have the right timing, you could walk into a knee like that, and that's, you know, game over. Game over. So sometimes it's better to just come in, stand up, clinch the guy, and then if you're a wrestler anyways, that's where you'd like to be. So then we can go for the takedown from there.
Shell, enter, clinch.
Now for our last counter to these blitzers, we're going to use something that builds upon the last technique. We're going to be using this kind of spearing elbow or this up elbow, and that's going to be with our lead arm right here. So the technique for this, guys, is he's coming in for the blitz. I'm picking this elbow up, and look, notice where my hand is, right? I'm in good position so that I'm blocking just in case he throws this overhand. He times it well. I'm already blocking that. My elbow's coming up, and all I really need to do is just kind of aim for that head there, right? I don't need to be going in with a lot of forward momentum because he's already crashing in. All he needs to do is walk in, and all that force is getting transferred into one little point there. So it's a big impact, especially if you're hitting around here on the face. You're probably going to cut your opponent. In my last fight, I threw just one of these towards the end of the first round, and I cut my opponent. It's very simple to do because, again, this guy's moving forward. You just really need to aim it in there and take a little half step in, and that elbow's going to come through, and we're going to land that. Now, sometimes you can't get this whole block going. Maybe we're throwing, or I'm throwing my hook, and he's stepping in. You can also just pick your elbow up like this, but obviously you're not going to have that same defense. So you're really just going to kind of pick and choose the right time to throw it. But again, we're meeting that blitzer in the middle, right? We're not moving backwards and throwing that because it's not really going to work that way. Yeah. I have to be coming forward, catching him off guard with my own strike, my own offense.
I like that too because you can also enter right into the clinch from there. After you throw that elbow, bang, we land it whatever right here. You can grab the head, you get bicep control, start working our Muay Thai clinch from there. But again, another great entry, not only damaging, building defense, but then we can enter into the clinch. All right, guys, there you have it. Very common strategy where guys will just blitz forward, try to close the distance, try to take you out. Now you have 5 different ways that you can practice with a training partner, and you know how to defend against it. Until next time, be sure to subscribe to get the fight tips before your opponent does. Until then, I'm Shane.
Vince The Anomaly.
Fight tips for the underdogs.